What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Gmi back in the house. Yo, pretty much, I wasn't even going to take the time out to have my character running around and doing all kinds of other crazy shit. For those that's watching the video, for those that are going to be listening to the podcast, it's just going to be, pretty much I'm going to go into this whole, now Michael Sam wants to do it, he's doing a documentary with Oprah. All right, listen, bottom line is this. I'm going to let you guys understand something for those that don't know football, to the people that do know football, okay? This man didn't do too well to show at a combine, which is for the people that don't know what football is, the combine is a place where these athletes get to show off their skills in order for them to get a prospective employer. Just to put it in layman's terms for those that don't understand what the combine is, the NFL combine, because like I said, I have a lot of female listeners that communicate with me regularly. They don't really understand a lot of the stuff, so I like to simplify it to make sure it's easier so everybody can, have a wonderful experience about the ridiculousness that goes on here at GmiasWorld. So in saying that, this man didn't do too well. Michael Sam, he didn't do too well at the combine. He ran slower than Gary the Snail from SpongeBob. He looked out of shape completely and out of sync and just wasn't on his game. In doing so, most people are not going to draft you. He was just an average player according to a lot of the analysts that that did the drafts, the prior draft ratings and stuff like that to see where you would go. Pretty much, this is like the interview process for people that don't understand football. The combine, the NFL combine, is like an interview process for you to be able to show off your stuff. Just like you going in there with a resume and your resume is all jacked up, but you sit there and you lie about it and you put mad shit on there. You graduated, summa cum laude from Harvard, all kinds of shit when you went to community college. Pretty much you can't really do that at a combine because it's just you and they're seeing everything you can do. This man looked like a fucking turd. Well, pretty much a melted Snickers bar. Okay? All right. He comes out prior to that to let everybody know that he's a homosexual man in college. Okay? He comes out. The interview should still be available. It was done by ESPN. His teeth were jacked up. All kinds. Listen, if you're going to, I always tell people this, regardless of what you do, when you're stepping out on the scene, you got to look the part. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of other homosexual men that would have made it a lot more presentable. People always try to make it about, homosexuality, this and that. It's not about that. It's about the way that you carry yourself. So, and I'm not saying that he, I'm not trying to go hard on, what I'm saying, whatever like that. I'm just saying the guy's teeth is straight up jacked. If he was a heterosexual, I go hard no matter what. I don't give a shit. But his teeth were jacked up, and I'm watching and I'm like, what I'm saying? Bro, come on, man. Don't they have Invisalign and shit like that? If you're gonna come out and represent something that's bigger than you, what I'm saying? I say the same thing about Al Sharpton. He wants to still act like he's representing, the black community, but his perm is dried up. You gotta wet that shit with some Soul Glow or something. You can't. You gotta you gotta spray that shit up if you're gonna be representing whoever. Cause you ain't representing me as an African American Negro. You just out there doing whatever you do, but just look the part. So from that, he says in an interview prior to the combine or his interview process that he's a football player and all he cares about is being the greatest football player that he can be. It goes from that to him looking like shit at the combine to getting drafted by the St. Louis Rams 249th somewhere along the third day or something of the draft. Towards the last days. To having a fucking cake fight with his boyfriend. Oh, let me correct that. He kissed his boyfriend on ESPN live television, and ESPN just thought that it should just be fucking, syndicated all day throughout the day. It's crazy because I'm in my car driving and I don't even have a TV, but ESPN made it so that it was like a fucking TV in your car because it was just everywhere. You go into a bar, whatever like that. Any place you went that had TVs on. I went into Costco. All the Costco TVs had him kissing his boyfriend. It's such a big deal. Nobody has ever seen another man kiss another man. They really want to put it on everybody. Just look, fuck it. This dude is kissing a man. Look, everybody look. You see? You see, guys? I guess that was probably the point of it. again, wasn't necessary. After that point, he then has a cake fight like it's a fucking wedding on the TV. He's having a cake fight with his boyfriend. He just like, fuck it, I'm gonna have a cake fight with my boyfriend. I know nobody usually do this, and I'm the first person to actually come out and say I'm a homosexual prior to being drafted, but you know what? I'm gonna go all out. Okay. As crazy as that was, we moved on from it. Now we learn that this man is doing a documentary with Oprah. This is the issue. I don't understand what's going on. If you're trying to break through a barrier, you know what I'm saying, that's more important than yourself, you can't have these type of distractions. That's my issue. If you're trying to become something great, you know what I'm saying? If this is what your purpose is, we've had other athletes that were openly gay, female tennis players and stuff like that. Documentaries came out years later. Why? Because those athletes were trying to be successful. And I don't remember her name, but she was a really great tennis player. And you know, I learned about her while I was in college and stuff like that. And then eventually I saw a documentary about her on ESPN. I don't even remember, but most of you guys probably know what I'm talking about. But I wasn't really a big fan of tennis, but the people around me, you know, they liked it. This is before, like, the whole Serena Williams and all this other shit that was going on. And they were like, yo, you should probably, you know, take a chance. You know, you're pretty open-minded. You know what I'm saying? Like, you watch a lot of different things. You should watch it. And I watched this Caucasian woman beat the fuck out of people. And at that time, watching her, I don't even think I knew she was gay. But it didn't matter. Because all I saw was someone trying to become a champion. And I don't see that in Michael Sam. And for the people that don't know about football, the St. Louis Rams they're like a lion pride that's on steroids. Pretty much. Like, you're going to get that work. And like, the team is very, very dominant and very good. Just so people understand that for the people that are non-football, you know, players, I mean, not non-football fans that watch football that are listening, they have a very, very, it's like Mike Tyson in his prime. They got a whole lineup of Mike Tyson in his prime, and they finna go fuck and bite people's ears off like they're Evander Holyfield. And then you got this guy coming in, and he's having documentaries, and his interview didn't go too well. So what does that mean? Because he's a homosexual, his jersey is already on back order because everybody's going to support it. You know what I'm saying? Well, the homosexual community is going to support it, things like that. They're going to try to make a name for it, you know, for him being the first and stuff like that. I understand all that. But how do you go, Mr. Michael Sam, from saying that you just want to be known as a football player and you're going to be the best football player you can be, to now, you know, you throw cake in your boyfriend's face, and then now you're doing a documentary? It doesn't seem like the attention is on the fact about you being a great football player, just more about your personal life. And realistically speaking, heterosexual or homosexual, the NFL is a very, very tough business. And it's not good when the people, your employers, always say they don't want distractions. They draft you thinking because of what you said prior that you're going to be only focused on football, to now hearing you're having a documentary with Oprah. That's a deal breaker. You haven't even made the team yet. This is what the problem is. And I want people to understand that, because I also have, you know, Mrs. Gmias watches a lot of makeup tutorials, and there's a gentleman that she watches, you know, who's gay. And I watched his video about how he came out to being gay. And this man, like, I could not believe how intelligent and just fucking thorough how he presented himself and how he explained the situation. I would be upset if anyone tried to knock him. And I'm going to get his name. His name will be in the description. I got to get his name. I really do want to, like, pause this and get you his name. But at the same time, I'm going to just go through the video. Because this guy, he explains what it was like for him to come out and be gay. And it wasn't about him being gay. It was about him being himself. We don't run around as heterosexuals like, yo, I'm a heterosexual, son. Yo, look at this shirt. It says heterosexual on it. We don't do that. And I understand that the community is still, you know, it's still like a gap between it. This doesn't help to solve it. This puts more of a layer between it, because you're going to have the other people that's like, look at this shit. It's all about publicity. It's all about exposure. It's just too much bullshit. If you want to be the best football player you can be, go out there and play football. It's as simple as that. When Barack Obama was running for president, he wasn't at strip joints sliding down a pole doing an audition for something else. He was debating and doing everything else he had to do to be president. If you want to be the best football player you can be, you should be in the fucking gym. You should have a fucking track coach because you slow as fuck. That's what you should be doing. And that's what people need to understand in the gay community. It's not about him being gay anymore. Being gay is not... It's not the issue. If you want to come out, you've already come out and said what you had to say. I'm a gay man and I'm a football player. Now you're just trying to be a celebrity off of pretty much as far as NFL talent goes and the team that you're on. You're not even capable of being a starter. So it's not like you're a really, really great player, because if you were a really, really great player, you wouldn't be acting like this, because you need more. And something that great players have is what you're lacking. Michael Sam cannot continue to do the things that he's doing when there's no guarantee of him even making a roster spot. It doesn't make sense. The distractions around it is not going to culminate to anything because the talent is too broad. You're dealing with straight monsters on the team. So instead of you focus on doing documentaries and kissing your boyfriend and throwing cake all over the fucking place like it's a fucking wedding party, you should be focused on the task at hand. Because what happens to everything if you don't make the team? You think Oprah gives a fuck? You think Oprah made her billions of dollars by hanging out with people that weren't relevant? If you don't make the team, it's not going to be because you're gay. It's going to be because you didn't make the fucking team. You haven't shown that you're capable of making a team. And that's what we have to distinguish. We have to stop attacking people for the wrong reasons. We have to stop attacking coaches for the wrong reasons. And I'm not saying that some of the coaches didn't draft him because he was gay and they didn't want the distraction. I'm just saying that this further shows and proves them to be right. If that's what your goal is, to do something, why are you showing everybody else that are the naysayers that they're correct? You defeat your purpose. It doesn't make sense. This is the issue. Is he good enough to be a football player on this team? I don't think so. If he makes the team, he's probably going to be a special teams player. For people that don't watch football, those are the guys that run around, during the times when the ball is kicked off or when they're punting it away. Pretty much special teams. It's not really, you have some real, good special team players, but special team players are not usually, the core that makes up the special teams are not usually the most talented. You know what I'm saying? In regards to a regular everyday job that we think about, they would probably be a janitor. As opposed to, a cashier or something like that along the line. Just to make you guys understand. He would be on special teams. He would be on the team, but he wouldn't be somebody that you see regularly. If I can make it as specific, as more layman terms to make everybody understand what I'm trying to say. Everyone has to make this man understand that in order to be great, you have to be focused on a goal. Remember LeBron James when he didn't have a championship and everybody was wondering why he wasn't doing that many commercials and why he wasn't doing it? Because that man was focused on getting the goddamn ring. He wasn't doing Chris Paul State Farm commercials and getting knocked out and not going further than the second round in 9 years. He wasn't doing that. He was focused on being great. When you're focused on being great, it shows. You may fail, but there's nothing wrong with failing if you learn something in the process. This right here, what's going on, is complete ridiculousness. And in order for him to succeed, to be what he wants to be, he's going to have to understand. The spotlight is not on you because you're a great athlete. The spotlight and the people that are pulling the strings, it's because they're trying to get more exposure and for more people to come out. But this is bigger than that. If you really care about what you said, then that's what your focus would be. It's not about being gay as opposed to heterosexual. It's about making the NFL team. That's what it's about. And you're not going to make the NFL team throwing cake all over the fucking place with your boyfriend and everybody's kissing and it's a fucking wild affair going on. It's not going to happen like that. That's my issue. Point blank. Doesn't matter heterosexual, homosexual, transsexual, doesn't matter. The focus is the football at this point. That's all the focus should be. And until that becomes the focus, everything that goes on just becomes a circus. That's my point about it. I'm not asking for anybody to agree with me. I don't do this for you to agree with me. I do this for you to understand a different mindset and about achieving success. If you want something, you have to go after it and go get it. You can't create other things in the process that cause distractions, because then it just turns out that you didn't really want what you said in the first place. It was always about this. It was always about you getting a claim. It was always about you figuring that you wouldn't be good enough to do it the right way. That's what everyone is always going to be able to say. But if you just go out there and do what you're supposed to do, who can say anything to you? That's the issue. That's what needs to be addressed. And until that is the case, you're going to have to just be satisfied with being the first homosexual draftee to come in and be cut. Because the team that you're on, I don't think he's good enough to make the fucking starting lineup. It is what it is. The same way I could tell you that another player, whoever he is, I could look at him and tell you he's not good enough to make the starting lineup. So unless you're going to have a documentary about you being cut from the NFL and working at fucking Costco, yo, listen, you got to make a choice. That's all I'm saying. Other than that, continue to throw fucking cake in your boyfriend's face and continue to make a mockery of yourself. But the task at hand is still there. And if you want that, go out there and get it. Don't just make a show, because it doesn't benefit anyone or anybody in your cause if you're just out there as a ploy. That is all. Until next time, one love.